This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. And the robot! Yeah! Oh my god, Daro. Daro's really sick, and then there's a doctor looking at her because she's sick with the magnifying glass, and then her relatives come in, kiss her on the cheek, and then somebody laughs at how sick she is. Alright, we got it all figured out. There we go. Okay. That's my deciphering of that. Yeah.
Face with monocle, 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 girls code forever at truth sleuth, kissing face, smiley face.
Wow, that took forever. My god. Holy crap. Do you just go to sleep there, Audra? Or are you mimicking me falling asleep on that long read there? That was crazy. Holy shit. I'll just say it however I feel like saying it, Ziva. I don't. However I say it is how I say it. Right? It's either Seiko, Sako, however I say it, that's how it is tonight. Okay. Just like when you probably say, Oregon. Or Oregon. Right. I don't think... Oh, really? Shoot. Well, if it's on rewind, too bad. I screwed up. It didn't look like it was on earlier, but maybe when it reset itself, it put it on. No, it's not Oregon. No. It's basically O-R-Y Oregon. Like O-R-Y-G-O-N. It's not Argon or... Yeah, it's just a lot of people can't say it. Anyways, we always joke around, Ziva, when people say, oh my god, I live 20 miles away, whoa! And they act like they're really like they're close to the case, you know. So we joke around about that a lot. Yours was particularly long when you said you live an hour away. That's just, you know... Not even really close. Now, if you lived in the same town, I could definitely see going, oh, wow, I live in that town. They've been talking about that for years. That'd be interesting. But, you know, it doesn't, you know, nobody goes, oh, my God, tell us what, you know, nobody's going to start asking what happened and things like that. So that's just sort of something we always joke around about. You probably knew, so you hadn't heard it 1,000 times. Yeah, wow, so I guess maybe rewind mode's on. You guys could be 40 seconds behind or 20 minutes, who the hell knows. Yeah, well, I didn't mean it so that you could rewind it. It always ruins the show when people rewind it, because then they're talking about something you talked about 20 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? You're about 2 foot behind. I don't know what that means, Brittany. I don't know what that means, Cuckoo Banana. Sorry. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's so hilarious. Yeah, I know. I know. Somebody said there's rewind mode. It's it might be on. I don't know. Okay, just refresh and you'll be caught up, okay? Don't stop it and pause and go to the bathroom and yeah. But apparently you can rewind, okay? Now, like you could go back 2 minutes and then start typing in. And then you'll be way off. So that's... I don't know what that means though, Brittany. It just doesn't mean any... We're not talking about distance. It's a time. Nadra Blankenship. Alright. I think most people are probably here at this point. Alright, so they, I can't remember, my brain isn't remembering the case, but I'll look it up here in a second.
Chewbacca?
I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to be.
Heart.
Thank you, Sarah Beth Colagras. As in Sarah Beth Colagras. Oh yeah, Erica Hernandez. They were searching Tim Miller, and Texas Echo Search was out there in a body of water searching. I kind of think that that's what's going to be. But where they were searching, though, it seemed like it would have been an intentional act to drown herself. Like it was down a ramp at a park. You know, that's usually an intentional. So I don't know. They were in a boat with sonar looking for, I guess they did find a car, but it wasn't hers. It's just like when they look for bodies, there's always bodies all over the place. It's pretty incredible how many bodies are just sort of out there in the
Much respect
world.
to Gray and his mods.
Thanks, Alyssa Tallman. Yeah. Like every time they go look for a body, the one I remember the most was when the Atlanta CDC worker, Cunningham, went missing. And during the week they were looking for him, 4 other bodies showed up in the city. Not that they were looking in a spot and found a body, but it's like, you know, come on, guys. So what we need to have is way more mushroom hunters, and mainly just mushroom hunters. I think they should sort of trick people into becoming really interested in being mushroom hunters. You know, like, hey, wow, it's so neato to be a mushroom hunter, and just have all, you know, like this incentive, give them a little badge and a medal. And they all go out and they become mushroom hunters, and we've got like 40 times the mushroom hunters. And then we'd probably find the scattered remains of 10 times the number of people that we currently do. So there you go. But I also do think that they should have classes for mushroom hunters to how they might help out law enforcement finding bodies. Per capita, mushroom hunters find way more bodies than hunters do. Man, it's like, hell, if you're a mushroom hunter, expect to find bones, okay? If you're a hunter, yeah, maybe. But see, mushroom hunters, they spend their entire time looking at the ground while they're walking. Okay, hunters don't do that. They're kind of gazing out in front of them and occasionally look down. Well, that depends, Gray, if they're looking for... I don't give a shit. You know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so they should have a training class when you become a mushroom hunter. Get a neat little badge and everything. And then when you find bodies, you know how to mark it. And, you know, they feel really cool. Oh, hey, man, the FBI came in here today and they taught us how to mushroom hunt. Man, it was so cool. They, you know, I mean, how to look for bodies while they're mushroom hunting. While we're mushroom hunting, you know, we can. They sat down and, oh wow, I want to be a mushroom hunter. Yeah, it would take off like wildfire, right? I guess occasionally people who look for antlers also find bodies because they're looking on the ground as well. But there's way more mushroom hunters than antler hunters. Okay? Alright, we're all set. We're all squared away with that one. Everybody's typing in mushrooms. Yeah. Last weekend I found a huge blue tarp in a rolled shape. I plan on going back to it sometime soon and seeing what it is, but I need more bug spray. Well, you probably need other people, you know. So why didn't you just look at it the first time when you were there? I don't know. Sounds a little fishy. Alright. Anyways, I'm going to get to these cases now. I don't know how long tonight's show will be, but we did another show earlier for an hour and some odd minutes in members only a little bit ago. And so we went over a case that we had talked about recently, but won't be talking about it on this channel because, I mean, live anyways, because the didn't work out too well the last time. The EC time. Oh, you do? You listen on the way to work, huh? Awesome. Well, hopefully you have a 3-hour drive to work, then you can get done with the whole show. Yeah. Alright, the first one we're going to do, these are, first two are out of Pennsylvania again, then the last one's Maine. Or, as I like to say, Maine. You know, because it's got the E at the end, you know. I'm just trying to piss off the people who live there. Yeah. Hey, alright, AK Terrell. Thank you. I don't know who AK Terrell is. Never seen you before. Have you been watching for a while, AK Terrell?
Chewbacca? Oh, I'll be Chewbacca.
Michael Callahan. Recently found the remains of a 10-year-old girl. Okay. What does it have to do with what we're talking about? Oh, cool. So what do you got on there, AK Terrell, on the image? Looks like a skeleton or something. Also or does AK, is that your initials or does it mean also known? I guess there would be an A too, right? Oh, maybe. Yeah. Thanks, Chatty-O. Yes, this is a 1977 Beaver Falls. Is that what that is? He typed it in too late. Right. Yeah, it was kind of, well, it was really sad though the other day when we were trying to cover, I'm just going to say we're trying to cover a missing person case, and we, every single month, at the end of each month, we have a donation night, okay? We have a donation night at the end of every month at the last day of the month. And then this time I thought, well, let's talk about the missing person case too. So I added the name below the first part where it said donation night, and then below that the name of the case. And you know, we did the whole donation night that we normally do. For the first 45 minutes we do a last push, and then we donate, and then I talk about cases. I just happened to mention the case, did not mention one time during the show to have people make donations related to that case whatsoever. Had nothing to do with anything. And then we started talking about it, and then all of a sudden everything just went crazy. All right, so that's what happened. And so I'm not going to be discussing that in a live, you know, public. I mean, it was a sad, sounds like it's a sad outcome. Unfortunately, it sounds like she took her own life, and that is all I'm going to say about it here. Okay, we went over the timeline that they gave out, played the press conference on the members only. Okay, so if you want to go watch the press conference, it's in there. It's also in the link, so you don't even have to watch it. You can go watch it on my channel. You can just go watch it on Facebook, and it was pretty detailed, really accurate, very incredible investigation. Really, it's one of the most amazing. Everything was timed perfectly. Then they had a scent dog that went right onto this rail, and it was just unbelievable. And it's really sad. And you know, the boyfriend probably, ex-boyfriend I guess, probably feels like crap, because at any time if he had given a word of encouragement, she probably wouldn't have done it. So anyways, all right. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna, that video was such a shit show. That live, both lives that night were a shit show. I mean, if you were ever going to look up the word dictionary in the shit show, it'll say Gray Hughes's lives on April 30th, 2021. Okay? Just look it up. Shit show dictionary, boom. Well, yeah, you'll just have a sore arm tomorrow, Edda, or ETA, or whatever that is. Yeah, you'll have a sore arm tomorrow, and then after you get your second shot, that's when you'll get, you might have some side effects from Moderna. You just feel a little bit like a flu, or, you know, you lose all your hair, or, I'm just joking. That's a joke, everybody. What do you mean, Gray? I was... Oh, come on. Man, I'm funny. Jesus. Yeah. All right. Look at Miss B's little face emoji right there. Okay. All right. Here we go, everybody. We donated that last month $2,600, but $2,100 on that night. So pretty good, huh? We're at right now 13,600. Hold on. So for this year so far, we are at 13,600, 22,000 last year. So I was under on my show. I was under the amount by quite a bit, but we've donated $35,600 since the beginning of last year, January. So in 16 months. That's pretty crazy, right? So boom! It's only because of the freaks. Alright? The freaks make it out. Hey, thanks, Michael Callahan. Right. So it was really, this guy, the family member, kept tweeting out really derogatory things and inaccurate information, that fits right into the libel category. But because of what they're going through, I'll just let it go. It's ridiculous, I absolutely could prove exactly what I was doing. There's no doubt about it. Okay? Right. Absolute joke how I was treated. I was just trying to help out and got treated like garbage. So had to drop it right at that point. So here we go, everybody. I'm going to switch topics right now. We're going to be talking about the Chewbacca. Hit the wrong button.
I'll be Chewbacca
if you want me to be. Yeah, hit the wrong button right there. Yeah, and we're going to have on Colleen Fitzpatrick's coming on tomorrow. We're going to be discussing the Somerton Man and updates on the 1961 Hitchhiker. Okay? How do you like that, everybody? The Australian, the Somerton Man. Sarita would probably love that one. Maybe even Lee D or Zozo, perhaps. Yep, Somerton Man. Yeah, she's actually been working on that one, so that'll be pretty cool, huh? She's listed in some of the articles. Her name pops up. All right, here we go. We are going to be discussing... The first case we're going to be doing right here is Stephanie Ann Boller. B-O-L-L-E-R. And this is back 1977, January 10th. And she disappeared, though, on the... Let's see. The 8th. January 8th. Yeah, January 8th, 1977. All right, a $5,000 reward was offered here today for anyone furnishing information leading to a 5-year-old girl who disappeared Saturday. Man, just 5, huh? Police remained on the lookout for Stephanie Ann Boller, although an organized search employing bloodhounds, a helicopter, and CB radio units had been called off. The girl was last seen on her way home from a Playmates home about 1 p.m. Saturday. So she was on her way home from a Playmates home about 1 p.m. Saturday. Let me open this up. Yeah, they didn't have, this one really wasn't specific on locations and everything. But her home was, I think, around in this area. Yeah, right around here. That's right, okay. We haven't talked about this one, right? I think I just was looking for so long on the map, it feels like I was talking about it. Alright. So, however, her mother and stepfather, Robin and Curtis Sell, the last name is Sell, S-E-L-L, each believe Stephanie was with the other, and she was not reported missing until 8 o'clock. Yeah, so each of the parent thought she was with one of the other parents, and so they didn't report her until late in the evening. More than 300 people yesterday combed the wood. That's before cell phones, right? You couldn't just call the other person up and check in. More than 300 people yesterday combed the wooded area near her home on 12th Street here, hampered by 18-inch snow drifts. So this is 11th Street, but this is 12th Street. So I think actually she lived in right here. I think I figured this out later and just left that pin there, but so near her home on 12th Street, here hampered by 18-inch snow. Her parents said she was wearing blue jeans, a green parka, a black rubber boots. She was described as 4 foot tall with green eyes and long, straight blonde hair. The child's natural father, Thomas Boller, of Darlington Road, told police he hadn't seen her on Saturday. Yeah, let's see where that is. Yeah. Oops. Darlington Road. Alright, so this is Darlington Road right over here. So I guess the biological father lives on Darlington Road. That's somewhere. It's kind of long, so I can't really tell you exactly where. So the child's natural father, Thomas Boller of Darlington Road, told police he hadn't seen her on Saturday. Okay. Well, if he said so, then sure. Okay, and then this is actually that was really all they had in the newspaper. There wasn't much going on. And then 10 months later, they said the skeleton of a small child found in a Beaver County park was identified today by the Allegheny County Coroner's Office as that of 5-year-old Stephanie Ann Boller, who disappeared near her Beaver Falls home, January 8th. Hey, thanks, Karen Shank Chapman. Oogla boogla freak. Awesome. Yeah. But at the same time, we also don't need people saying, "Oh, look how much better of a mom I would have been." Yeah, at this point, people, like it's like in the Delphi case when everybody says, "God, why were they allowed to go to the bridge?" Well, because they were, that's what people did in that town. So I would just say, if you don't let your kids do anything, that's great. Okay? But one thing we don't want to have is like where you're sort of trying to make it sound like you're better than somebody else every time we say it. We get that a lot. We get people always saying, "I'm so much better than you. I would have never let him go to the bridge." Right? And I just always look at that and go, who gives a shit what you think? I really, it's now, nowadays it would be, like for example, right? They haven't caught anybody, right? So now, if I was a parent there, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't let somebody just walk out to the bridge. But prior to that, it was a great town. It was like how it used to be when we were kids. That's how it was, right? It was different. Right. I don't know who you are, Amy. What do you mean, oh, here we go? I'm going to say whatever the hell I want to say. If you don't like what I'm saying on my channel, don't watch it, okay? I get really sick of people getting all whiny and their butt hurts, okay? We don't care how, oh my God, I never let my kid out. So why would they let her, Well, listen, this is 1970-something in a small little town. Of course, she could just go walking around playing. That's how kids did it. My mom, when we were kids at that same age, would just say, "Hey, tell you what, you guys, just be home by dinner time." And then after we ate dinner, be home before it gets dark. And we get on our bikes and we drive, go all over the place and get back home. Now, in today's world, there's no way in hell that a parent would let me do it. I don't care what your picture is. I don't care what your picture is, Amy. You're always saying things then, obviously. I don't seek anybody out. I don't even know who you are. I don't remember ever talking to you before in here, Amy. Okay? You don't look familiar to me. I don't know what you are or who you are or anything. Okay? I'm just saying whenever I see those comments, it always puts me in a weird mood. Because it seems like they're trying to tell everybody how they would, how they would be, and how dare these people to do that. I have no clue, Amy. It's probably your stupid ass responses every 2 minutes. Maybe that's what it is. No idea. Okay. Bye-bye. All right, here we go. I think there was a reason she put at the end of that, like, don't shoot me. And the reason she said that is because she knows that's one of the things that we always talk about. So that was I think that was a definite troll right there. No doubt about it. All right, here we go. So this is the next one. A skeleton was Beaver Girl's skeleton was found. The skeleton of a small child found in a Beaver County park was identified today by the Allegheny County Coroner's Office as that of 5-year-old Stephanie Ann Boller, who disappeared near her Beaver Falls home last January 8th. A coroner spokesman said further studies are now underway to determine the cause of death. Positive identification was made from clothing, physical description, and a pathological examination of the skeleton. 2 boys walking in a wooded area. Isn't it weird how we always get the 2 boys walking in a wooded area deal? Seems like you get that a lot. 2 boys walking in a wooded area of Brady's Run Park found the remains at about 4:50 p.m. yesterday. So this is where it all went down, but Brady Run's Park is right over here. And I think this is where it is. It's like way up on a hill up here, like that. Definitely didn't have very specific information. Yeah. All right, hold on. Stephanie's body had not been buried, but was abandoned on the surface and was fully clothed as best as could be determined. Beaver Falls Police Chief Russell F. Chiodo said, "We have a potential murder on our hands." On the day she vanished, Stephanie walked up her street to the home of a friend on 12th Avenue. See, that's what's kind of odd, because I thought she lived on 11th and then walked up the street, kind of like she lived here and then 12th is here. In the Mount Washington section of Beaver Falls. But her friend's mother told her, see, look how sad this is. This is another one of those moments where you're like, oh crap, man. But her friend's mother told her that her playmate was ill and Stephanie started back home. So she goes over to the friend's house and the mother said that the playmate was ill, so she started walking back home. And that was the last time she was reported seen. How dare that parent say that her child was ill? God. You know, if I was a parent, I would never say that my child was ill. Oh, God. Because look what could happen. Yep. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. A house-to-house search of the neighborhood, along with 175 volunteers plodding through 18-inch snow. You know what's interesting about the snow is when you've been able to, unless it just continually snowed at a high rate, it seemed like you would have been able to see some footprints or something you know, something that would determine where she was and where she had been walking. You know, she went to the friend's house, 18-inch snow, and then she's walking back. A missing child poster circulated, let's see, by police. Described Stephanie as 42 inches tall, weighing 42 pounds, with blonde hair, gray eyes, and a fair complexion. She was wearing a green parka, jeans, and black vinyl boots. The location of the body was about 5 miles from Stephanie's home atop a wooded hill. And I think that's about... hold on, let me measure the... From here to there, it's not even a mile. So I don't know. It's kind of strange because this is the park, I think. Let me see. Let me zoom. Yeah. Because this is the park that they're talking about. So when they say 5 miles... Oh, yeah. You know what I think it is? They drove it and it was 5 miles. That's right. I remember thinking that. Now watch this. Watch this craziness. To get there, you notice here's the park, right? There isn't one road that goes anywhere near there across. See this? So right there is the closest one. So if you lived right here, you'd have to go like this. And look how, you know, just absolutely convoluted this would be. You'd have to drive like this, around, up like this, then maybe take a left in this area, and then drive way down this direction. And, you know, then she's found up in this park right here. So you're almost like tripling it. It's like the least effective route ever. I mean, if you lived right here, like here's what's crazy. If you lived right here, this reminds me of the same thing that was in the Allison Watterson case. The place where the pickup truck was left that first night is only a half mile from the road, you know, that we were searching on. And the only way to get there is this long, convoluted trip. So if you were going to go from here to there, which is only... Like you just want to get to that road from right there, it's 0.3 miles. But to actually drive there, you'd probably have to go up here, and it'd be like a 2.5 mile drive to there. But man, if it was right there to here, you'd have to drive all the way around like this and then up. So I think what they did was they just drove it and then measured it. Thank you, Chad Bobinger. Well, I wasn't trying. All I was just saying is I don't like it when people start talking about how great of a parent they would have been. It feels like it's sort of like victim blaming. We don't need to hear it. Nobody's interested in how great of a parent you would have been. Okay, what we care about is the case that we're talking about. And then a more intelligent comment would be something like this. You know, in today's day, there's probably no way that girl would have been allowed to walk. Unfortunately, it was back then when everybody was able to do that. And now there's way more monsters, so it's not as safe. See, that would sound so much more intelligent instead of, oh, God, I would never do, you know. So that's why I always have been doing that, and I know that person knows that, and that's why they said I apologize at the end, because they knew nobody else would have thought that, right? That's right. Hindsight is 20/20. Yeah. Thanks, Claudia. Yeah, I don't even know if they had street view here, though. That's the thing. Oh, they did. That was a different town. So let's see what that looked like in that area. One of the other cases had no street view on it. You know, so from the ground view, the area kind of just looks like this. I'm sure it hasn't changed much at all over the years. Looks like kind of a small community. This is 12th Street. I think that friend probably just lived in one of these homes right here on this street. And then she turned around, probably started walking back down, and somebody abducted her, probably just on her way back to her house, somewhere around in here. I'm not sure how that would have worked with the tracks. You know, she might have just walked along the railroad tracks here. And then, I think she lived here. I think it comes up in other articles. It makes it seem like that. Mahoney said foul play can't be eliminated when a small child is found in such an isolated area. He said police have informed Stephanie's mother, Robin Sell, and stepfather, Curtis, of their suspicions. They have been told Stephanie is dead, he said. They reacted with mixed emotions of grief and relief. They now know what happened to Stephanie. It's been frustrating not to know. Okay, so at least they found her. But man, that was 10 months in between. And then a couple days later, skull fracture blamed. I wonder if, I don't know if there was a sexual assault. I wonder if a car hit her in the snow and then just panicked and threw her out there. That seems kind of dumb, though. Who would do that? Well, monsters would. It was like 10 months. M-U-N-T-S, months. A skull fracture apparently caused the death of 5-year-old Stephanie Ann Boller of Beaver Falls, according to Harper Simpson, deputy coroner in Beaver County, who attributed the fracture to an external force. He told the Ledger the finding was unofficial, as we will meet tomorrow with the coroner. Laboratory facilities in Allegheny County have been used in an attempt to establish the identity and learn the cause of death of the child whose body was found Sunday afternoon in Brady Runs Park. Simpson told the Ledger, "We're satisfied it is Stephanie, but officials are still waiting." So this is a little bit, even though this article came out after the last one, seems like they were still trying to figure it out. It's weird how papers publish shit at the wrong times, it seems like. That were found in the park included a fractured skull, he said. The body was in such a place that death could not have been caused by a fall. He further said the girl's body will be released by his office tomorrow pending positive identification. He criticized the early news release from Allegheny County relative to positive identification. Maybe that's what happened. And said we're only using their lab facilities. State Police and the Beaver County Coroner's Office have jurisdiction in the case. And then the next time it pops up is this one, and we actually covered Beth Lynn Barr on another episode a long time ago. But 2 little girls' slangs haunt police officials. So, former Wilkinsburg police chief Harry Hodgins and his wife, friends of the Barrs, played poignant role Friday at the coroner's office when they identified clothing worn by Beth Lynn when she was apparently abducted by a middle-aged man in a blue sedan. And this happened in 1979, March, so it's about 2 years later. And they were just comparing the two. Kind of makes you wonder. She lived quite a bit of ways, though. It wasn't like right there. And there she is right there. I mean, who the hell would kill somebody like that? It's just freaking monsters, you know. And I guess this is kind of where she was found. On the ground there. Several men discovered human remains in Brady's Run Park on November 6, 1977. Police determined they belonged to Stephanie Boller, who had gone missing 10 months earlier in Beaver Falls. So this is from the timesonline.com. It's a case that has haunted investigators for more than 3 decades. 5-year-old Stephanie Boller left her Beaver Falls home on January 8, 1977, and walked to a friend's house. Clad in a green coat and boots, she seemingly vanished, and this article was 2015, after leaving her friend's house. Her mother, Robin Sell, reported Stephanie missing that evening. Sell told police that she had been gone from her home from 3 to 7, and that when she returned home, she couldn't find her daughter. No one saw anything to give police a clue as to where Stephanie had gone, and a massive search party formed to scour the neighborhood. Then Coroner Harper Simpson was also a member of an Army Reserve unit that mobilized to help in the search. So our whole unit went up to Mount Washington and moved through there with everyone else searching, prying, open trunks and abandoned vehicles, going in abandoned buildings, going through cellars and everything, looking for this little 5-year-old girl. For months, police pursued leads, but none of them proved worthwhile. Then, on November 6th of that year, men who were walking through Brady Runs Park looked for cans, spotted what appeared to be human remains. Police determined the men had found Stephanie. Let's see, so we're walking through Brady's Park, looking for cans, spotted, okay. So police determined the men had found Stephanie. She had been hit in the head and apparently died from a skull. I don't understand. Police determined the men had found... Oh, they... okay, I get it. They had found Stephanie. I was like, what do you mean? Like, determined the men found Stephanie. I guess what they need to have is, like, inflection marks. I don't know why my brain read it that way, but yeah. Former Beaver Falls officer Dick Pegg was one of the first officers to respond to the park. And at that time, Officer Jones and I remained at the scene overnight, and we remember it was cold, just like the day it was when she went missing. Police don't believe Stephanie was killed in the park, and so many months passed between her disappearance and the discovery of her body that there was no physical evidence to rely on. That's what made it frustrating, because we had nothing other than she came up missing on 12th Avenue, and they find her remains. See, that's how the newspaper was. Did you notice that? The articles were exactly the same way. Well, she's missing. Okay, and then 10 months later they find her. I mean, there was nothing to report on. Nothing. Oh, you're going to sleep, Heather? Good night, Heather. I don't see her saying that, but... Oh, gotta get going. Good night, everybody. Oh, yeah. Well, good night, Heather. Huh? Thank you, Jessica Schubach. I want to hear that one. Oops. We frozen here? Something is... Oh, there it is. Woo. For a second I was kind of frozen. Alright, hold on. Oh, yeah. Dick Pegg, the guy's name, yeah. That's pretty dumb, huh? I see what you're saying. I wasn't even paying attention to what his name was. My mind doesn't think like that half the time. What if your last name was Leg? Would you name your kid Peg? Peggy? Yeah. Or let's say it was Shitz, like S-H-I-T-Z. Would you name your kid Dip? Probably not. Ah, boy, man, that is some good stuff. Man, my sound effects are so late. Okay, police don't believe Stephanie was killed in the park, and so many months passed between her disappearance and the discovery of her body that there was no physical evidence to rely on. That's what made it frustrating, because we had nothing other than that she came up missing on 12th Avenue, and then they find her remains. But it was 10 months later. It was a very difficult case. It bothered all of us a great deal. Peg has also never forgotten the case. He still carries photos and articles about Stephanie with him, and he still hopes for a resolution to the case. There are several cases that stick with you forever. Man, you hear that so often from officers, don't you? It was. I think what was stark about it was she was such a little girl. Even to this day, when I look at my daughter, who's well into her 40s, I think, what would Stephanie be doing? What was her contribution? Simpson said. This case has been with me always since the beginning. And that's it for that one. See how little that had? Because they had absolutely no information whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so the next one is also in Pennsylvania. And it's Renee Gregor. This one's kind of strange, though. This one almost feels like it, almost like Zodiac kind of crap, you know. 1977, October 24th. A teenage girl whose date was shotgunned to death is the object of an intense search in the desolate area surrounding this southwestern Pennsylvania community. A 100-man search party aided by a state police helicopter and 2 bloodhounds is continuing to look for Renee Gregor, 15, of Robinson Township. She was last seen with a boyfriend, John Feeney, 17, of Caraopolis Friday night when the two left her home together. Police found young Feeney slumped over the wheel of his blood-spattered van at about noon Saturday in Findlay Township. He had been shot once in the neck at close range with a shotgun, police said. The vehicle was found, its motor running, 2 miles off Crescent Road in an old strip mining area. Here, let's see if we can find that one. So this is Crescent Road. Yeah, it looks like in Coraopor. Not really that far away. Okay, so this is the right town. I wonder if that road's not there anymore, though. Crescent Road. So apparently this is the right town. Crescent Township right here. Or that says Crescent Township, so maybe Crescent Road would be... It just didn't seem like it was in here. Now they had a bunch of Crescent Roads in Pennsylvania. No. Alright, well, I guess it doesn't exist anymore. Gotta hate when they change the names. Okay, the only sign of Miss Gregor at the scene was her blue and white jacket. So her blue and white jacket, you know, she probably took it off. They were probably parked, making out, whatever. However, another possible clue at the scene was a book entitled The Green-Eyed Monster, which concerns the subject of jealousy as a mental illness. Thank you, Lee D. Oh, I don't know if you were here earlier, Lee D, but we're going to be covering The Summer Tin Man tomorrow with Colleen Fitzpatrick. Then now, from your neck of the woods, police found the book by the van Sunday, but said they didn't know if it had anything to do with the murder. I feel she may have been kidnapped and quite possibly is still alive, said Lieutenant Charles Mosser. Feeney dropped out of high school, that's the guy that was killed, last year, recently employed as a busboy at a nearby restaurant. Neighbors described him as the nicest of the bunch of 4 brothers and a sister. Miss Gregor, whose 16th birthday is next Sunday, is a junior at Montour High School. John Gregor, father of the missing girl, said she dated Feeney regularly, although the two were not steadies. He last saw his 5'3" blonde daughter and Feeney about 7 p.m. Friday. He said he believed the two were headed to a pizza parlor. Sometime after 10 p.m., when the couple had not returned, he became concerned and called Feeney's parents. Police were then notified. What happened, the Hawk? Did you smoke some marijuana? Oh, look at, I think the Hawk is on rewind mode and watching something from 30 minutes ago. That's exactly right there. See, this is the problem you get, right? Let me tell you the biggest problem with rewind mode is like this. Watch this. Yuckity yuckity yucky yucky yuck yuckity 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 yucky yucky. And then we go 40 minutes later and I'm going. And the head was found underneath a bale of hay. Both eye sockets were gouged into, removing the eyeballs. Both arms were removed. Then you look up, with these big laughing emojis and everything like that. That's because they're laughing at something that happened 25 minutes ago on the show, because there sure as hell wasn't anything funny with what we were just talking about. And look at, like, the Hawk right now is, somebody said, hi, the Hawk, because chat is current, okay? So she doesn't realize that right now she's 20 minutes behind, laughing right during a heinous murder, okay? In some ways, that's pretty damn funny, okay? Here, somebody get her back to real time here. Hey, at the Hawk, you are way behind. Refresh. Yeah, just think about that one. Oh boy. So he last saw his 5'3" blonde daughter and Feeney about 7 p.m. Friday. He said he believed the two were headed to a pizza parlor. Sometime after 10 p.m., when the couple had not returned, he became concerned and called Feeney's parents. Police were then notified. All right. So that's why it sounds a little bit like the Zodiac, right? Like, walks up to your car, blows you away. I don't think he was in this area though. It's pretty brutal too. A shotgun, and look at this van. Doesn't that just exactly what you were kind of picturing too? Just the mysterious slaying of a 17-year-old Carapolis youth over the weekend has brought to 11 the number of unsolved murders in western Pennsylvania during the last 13 months. MUNTS. And 6 of them were women who in some way had been sexually attacked, 4 of them in Washington County alone. That's pretty weird. Police expressed fear privately yesterday that the young man's girlfriend, Renee Gregor, 15, who was apparently abducted from her boyfriend's side on a desolate airport property in Findlay Township late Friday or early Saturday, may become the 12th. And Findlay Township Police Sergeant routinely checked the Red Dog surface back roads, often used as lovers' lanes off Crescent Drive. So let me see if I can find this now. I think that's a little bit more information. So Crescent Drive. And where were they saying? Findlay Township. Okay. Imperial Findlay. Let's see. Alright. So there's Crescent Drive. Why doesn't that sound? Doesn't look right. Let's see. Findlay Township, late Friday or early Saturday morning. A Findlay Township police sergeant routinely checked the Red Dog surface back roads, often used as Lover's Lane, off Crescent Drive, Saturday morning. Found the bloodied body of John Feeney of, let's see, 620 Maple Street. Is that right? 620 Maple. Okay, I don't know if I have the right town. It has to be, though. Is there a in Pittsburgh? 620 Maple Street. Yeah, fatally shot in the neck by a small bore shotgun, apparently at point blank range. Evidence in Feeney's van, where the body was found, indicated the youth had been sitting on the second of 3 rows of seats. Man, that's weird. This sort of sounds familiar too. It's weird. When he was shot. Sounds like the other one that we discussed, where the girl in the park that was killed a long time ago. Thanks, Rita Schaefer. See, it's when he was shot. Blood from the body had formed a pool and was still seeping from under a sliding door at the side of the yellow van. The engine of the van was still running when the police discovered the body, and it was not until 3 p.m. when police turned it off without disturbing the inside of the van. In the meantime, the fate of Miss Gregor, a Montour High School. Okay, let's see where that is. Maybe that'll help us out. Montour High School. Okay, so we're right. We're in the general vicinity here. So actually, I think that is that road. And the other road was called, hold on, Crescent Drive. On tour. Crescent Drive. Is this a town? Man, this is brutal. This one's a tough one. Findlay Township. Let me just do that again. That's right there. So it makes sense that this is the drive that they're talking about. It's just so tiny. But you could see maybe back in the 1970s that this would be, there'd be like no population on it. Oh, look at that. They actually did a street view on it. Yeah, so maybe somewhere on this Findlay Drive right here, back in the day. They just parked their car. It was probably... Well, let's even just try to go back a little bit and see if there's homes. How far back? You can't see homes. Okay. 2006. 93. Okay. Man, it looks not like it's changed that much since 93, but this is way before that, 1977. So it's hard to say. So in the meantime, the fate of Miss Gregor, a Montier High School junior who lives at 249 Cleaver Road, Robinson Township, remains unknown. 500 persons, most of them volunteers, combed the woods and scrubbed grass, covered old strip mine area, aided by bloodhounds and a state police helicopter equipped with heat-seeking ultraviolet equipment to pick out living persons or animals below. The only thing we're sure of is that she's not there. I don't see how we could have missed her, he added. We had around 200, we had around 200 people searching that one area alone. Township Police Chief Steve Kroshik said yesterday Feeney's mother had restricted her son's date with the girl to about 2 hours because she needed to drive her to work at 10 p.m. Friday. By midnight, when Feeney failed to return, she called police, triggering a search for the Chevrolet van. Police in Washington County are still without further solid clues. Police in Washington County are still without further solid clues leading to the slayer of 17-year-old Debbie Capiola of Findlay Township, whose semi-nude body was found last March in another desolate strip mine area in Robinson Township. So let's type that name in really quick. Murder of Debbie Capiola and that person was convicted. And let's see. A guy named David R. Kennedy. So they did make an arrest finally in that one, I think. Let's see. David Robert Kennedy, 50, of Cecil, was convicted Monday. This is way back then. And sentenced to life in prison for the death of Debbie Capiola, 17, one of 7 young women who died in and around Washington County under similar circumstances. So, man, this guy could be a serial killer, and they just, maybe back then they weren't able to determine that. So this could be another victim right here. 3 other women in Washington County have been killed in recent months under similar circumstances. Brenda Lee Ritter, 18, of South Strabane Township, found May 19th on a rural road near her home. Her body had been disrobed and her panties were used to strangle her, police said at the time. Mary Irene Gency, 16, of North Charleroi, who was found beaten to death along a dirt road in Fallowfield Township. Susan Rush, 21, of Washington, whose partially nude body was found strangled in the trunk of her car last November 25th. More recently, Allegheny County police said they have no new leads in the torture, rape, murder of Catherine Weinman. Man, I didn't even read this part. So what are these ones? Catherine Weinman. No, hold on a second. Yeah. All right. Man, okay, so murder of Catherine Weinman. Kathy Wyman, there she is. Marshall. I'm trying to see if this one's been solved or not. Slain couple and inspiration. Maybe it's a different Kathy Wyman. Man, when you start duplicating names, man, you know there's a lot of murders going on. Equally mysterious is the slaying of Frank R. Ziegler, 28, of Kittanning, Armstrong County, whose body was found in his tanker truck off the Warrendale-Ambridge Road in Marshall Township on September 27th. Also remaining at large is the strangler of Barbara Jean Lewis, 30, of Penn Hill. Police surmised an exceptionally strong person ripped off the woman's overcoat and blouse, bound her and stuffed her mouth with cleaning tissue, and dumped her body into a trash bin off Bulow Road. Murdered under similar circumstances was Heidi Morningstar. We covered that one. Must have been a serial killer around that time. Thank you, Sarita. Of Ambridge, Beaver County, whose fully clothed body was found September 13th, 1976, a month before the Lewis slaying. Once again, the mouth filled with handkerchiefs and the hands bound. Her body was dumped in residential Edgeworth, about 4 miles from her home. In both of these cases, there was no evidence that either victim was sexually abused. Still unsolved also is the beating murder of Denise J. Miller, 20, of 334 S. Negley Avenue, whose body was found last October 8th in a wooded section of Upper Burrell, Westmoreland County. There was no evidence the woman who was known to have been partying in several areas before her abduction and murder, had been raped. This is all from 1977, by the way. County to lead hunt for Findlay Girl 15. So now we're back to the one that we were talking about. An army of volunteers and law enforcement personnel will be got together to meticulously search of Findlay Township at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Miss Gregor, 15, of Robinson Township, had been missing for 2 weeks. Her date on the evening she was last seen alive was John Feeney, 17, who was found murdered in a van parked on county property. Hey, thank you, Shogun Love. James Curran, director of the County Department of Public Protection, announced the revived search efforts yesterday. Why do the county police not patrol the area? Why are there 16 vacancies on the county police force? Why has the county not conducted a massive search? Those were some of the questions Miss Peck and a delegation of 5 women from Findlay asked the commissioner. Okay, so anyways, everyone's bitching and complaining about the pace and everything, which is pretty common actually. And this is from about 10 days later. At least 17 girls and young women in southwestern Pennsylvania have disappeared under mysterious circumstances in the last 14 months. Most have been found dead. Some have been sexually assaulted. They have been strangled with panties, stockings, jeans, or handkerchiefs. They have been bludgeoned. They have been killed in so far undiscovered ways. They have been the object of widespread searches through dense woods and dusty roads. State police, county police, city police, sheriffs, all have looked for the killers. Hypnotists, psychics, and anonymous callers have offered to help. And a month ago, Sheriff Eugene L. Kuhn of Allegheny County formed a special team of area authorities to probe these and other unsolved murders. The chain of tragedy began September 13, 1976, when Heidi Morningstar, 12, of Ambridge, Beaver County, was found in residential Edgeworth, about 4 miles from her home. Her body was fully clothed, her hands were bound, her mouth was stuffed with handkerchiefs. 2 months later, Barbara Jean Lewis, 30, of Penn Hill, was found in a trash bin in Churchill, about a mile from her home. A word processing technician for Rockwell International downtown, she too was found with her hands bound and cleaning tissue stuffed in her mouth. On Thanksgiving, a year ago, Susan Rush, 21, of Washington, was found strangled in the trunk of a car about a quarter mile from where she worked. By last spring, 3 more area males had disappeared, later to be found dead. In January, Stephanie Ann Boller, 5, we just covered that one, was apparently abducted from her Beaver Falls home. And not really, she was walking back. This month, remains of a body found in a park near Beaver Falls were identified as hers. In February, Mary Irene Gency, 21, was found brutally beaten to death in Fallowfield, Washington County, 8 days after she disappeared from her North Charlotte, I don't know, what does that say? Charlie Roy home, something like that. In March, Debbie Capiola, 17, of Findlay Township, was found strangled in a wooded area of Washington County, 10 days after she disappeared. Another Washington County woman, Brenda Lee Ritter, 18, of South Strabane, was strangled in May. And this fall, 3 more victims have been found. Denise J. Miller, 20, of Shadyside, discovered by hunters in Lower Burrell, Westmoreland County. October 8th, Patricia E. Randolph, 20, of Homewood, Rushton, found near Beaver Falls late Saturday. And Joan M. Rasberger, 15, of Slickville, Westmoreland County. The latter remains were found near Vandergrift last Sunday. She had been missing since July 5th. In addition, the disappearance of Renee Gregor, 15, of Robinson Township on October 22nd, following the murder of her boyfriend, has yet to be solved. Asked whether any of these cases might be related, a state policeman said yesterday, "Until we know more, we can't say no, and we can't say yes." I don't know, when you see clusters like that, you get kind of, you start to wonder, right? All right. So now we're moving on to the last one. This might not be. I did another hour and some odd minute show on in the channel memberships earlier, so I'm gonna do this one right now. So I think her name is pronounced Ashley Ouellette, even though it's O-U, but that's how they seem to pronounce it. All right. And let me guess, Seiko, is that right? Is it Seiko or Sako? Come on, throw it out there. I'm going to guess Seiko. Neither, Gray. It's Seisho. See? I did say Sako though, right? I just settled on Seiko though. All right. So this one is Ashley Ouellette. A teenage girl was found dead on a busy road early Wednesday, and police say she was the victim of a homicide. All right, so let me put this in here. Hold on. Got it. Ashley Ouellette, 15, of Saco, was pronounced dead at Maine Medical Center after a motorist saw her lying in the middle of a Pine Point road, said Stephen McCausland, spokesman for the Maine Department of Public Safety. Mike Lopez did a U-turn when he noticed the body near the Scarborough Marsh Nature Center. So let's see where that is. So this is in Maine. Scarborough Marsh Nature Center. Okay. There we go. Hey, thank you, CC. Alright, Mike Lopez did a U-turn when he noticed the body near the Scarborough Marsh Nature Center about 4 a.m. I turned around and there was this person. This is 1999 in February. So we're, much later than the other cases, but I turned around and there was this person lying face down in the road, Lopez said. She was blue and she had blood around her mouth. The Maine Medical Examiner's Office conducted an autopsy Wednesday, but authorities declined to release the results. Police were retracing the girl's steps from the night before and conducting interviews as part of their investigation. A car was towed to the state police crime lab in Augusta, but authorities would not say who owned the car. The girl was a student at Thornton Academy in Saco. I wonder if that's still there. Yep, right there. It's almost like a straight line right there, isn't it? Thornton Academy. It's weird how you just kind of go right down that highway and then boom, you're right there, and then there's the reserve. Right on the highway there. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm at. The body of Ashley Ouellette was found lying face down on Pine Point Road in Scarborough. Pine Point Road. Okay, so we got the right road there. So, so it's probably, this is Pine Point Road here, and they said it was near that park, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was kind of near a place where you could turn around if you wanted to. The body of Ashley Ouellette was found lying face down on Pine Point Road in Scarborough with her legs out straight, hands at her sides, her hair combed, and her clothes buttoned. And oh man, that's a signature kind of deal there, isn't it? The way a body being posed is a signature. That's crazy. Hands at the side, hair straight, everything was. A motorist who found the body administered cardiopulmonary resuscitation, but Ouellette was pronounced dead at the Maine Medical Center in Portland. Today is a grim day at our school, Headmaster Carl Stasio told an assembly. Okay. Okay, let me get up here. Investigators searched a house in Saco Thursday night where Ouellette was last seen alive at 12:30 a.m. Wednesday. Thornton officials said Ouellette attended classes Tuesday. She was described by those who knew her as warm, high-spirited teen who was enrolled in the school's alternative program set up for students who do not do well in traditional classrooms. She had a tight circle of friends and was beginning to have academic success. Ouellette, the daughter of Robert and it looks like Lise Ouellette, comes from a well-known family. Her father is a real estate broker and a member of Saco Bay Rotary Club, and he serves on the city's Historic Commission and Dyer Library Board of Trustees. Her parents identified their daughter in Augusta, where she was taken for an autopsy. She was a good person who was very warm and sincere. The body was found by Mike Lopez of Old Orchard Beach, who said he was driving home at 4 a.m. Wednesday with his mother when he spotted the body. It was eerie, he said. It was almost like she was placed there. Lopez said he and his mother, it sounds like she was perfectly straight, hands at her side, everything was perfectly done. It's probably done really late at night, like 2, 3 in the morning. Ouellette had no pulse and her skin color was blue, but her body was still warm. I bet she was strangled. Yeah. As friends and family paid last respects to the 15-year-old homicide victim, police reported progress in the search. Detectives said they have retraced Ouellette's footsteps up until 12:30 a.m. Wednesday, when she was seen by residents of a home on Mast Hill Road. Where's that? Okay. So, that's cool. So Mast Hill Road, it doesn't go that whole way. I think it's just from here to here. So she was just, yeah, see? It becomes Holmes Road right there, and then Heath Road right here. So we really have it narrowed down to this little tiny stretch right here. So she was last seen here. Was it 12:30? I can't remember. Yeah. Huh. So she went to school there, but was there. And that there's also roads that lead to where she was found from there too. I guess all roads lead somewhere, right? And she was seen by residents. A passing motorist 3.5 hours later found her body on Pine Point Road. A half-dozen police detectives discreetly monitored the crowd coming to Ouellette's funeral. They do that all the time. At the Most Holy Trinity Church in Saco on Saturday morning, making themselves available to anyone who might have information to help the investigation. Renee, wow, I'm not even going to try that name. Lehouillier. Ouellette's uncle delivered a brief eulogy describing her as a self-assured and vivacious girl with an underlying innocence. His niece, he said, dreamed of being a star and admired Marilyn Monroe. In heaven, Ashley is what she always wanted to be. Lehouillier, I'll try to pronounce it, said, his voice halting, one of the brightest stars. The Reverend Patrick Walsh directed some of his remarks at Ouellette Thornton Academy classmates who tear-stained, youthful faces looked up from many of the pews. I know at your age you have a sense of immortality, he said. This morning you are touched by mortality. I have one word of advice. Cherish the gift of life. Department of Public Safety spokesman Stephen McLaughlin said police are determined and committed to find answers in Ouellette's killing. Detectives have not disclosed how Ouellette died. Alright, so now we're like a week into it now. So there you go. A 15-year-old Saco girl found dead on a road in Scarborough a week ago was strangled after she decided to spend the night at the home of a fellow student she previously dated, authorities reveal. How does that not lead directly to something? The preliminary cause of Ashley Ouellette's death was included in a Maine State Police affidavit filed in Portland District Court as a follow-up to a request for a search warrant. Armed with the warrant, police searched a home on Mast Hill Road. That's probably the exact place she was last seen at 12:30 in rural Saco, and a car belonging to Daniel Sanborn, 16. But why would you place her on the ground, hands at the side, and do all that posing stuff? That's weird. If it was him, that's a strange thing. Unless he, I don't know, cared about her and thought, well, let's make her look good and I'll put her on the ground. I have no idea what the hell this person was doing. Sanborn and his brother Stephen, both fellow students of Ouellette at Thornton Academy, live in the house. The affidavit traced Ouellette's footsteps as she gathered with several friends the evening of February 9th and later spent the night at the Sanborn residence. The search of the home uncovered what appeared to be a trail of blood droplets on the linoleum floor between the kitchen and the entrance to the living room. The court document, that's what the court document said. The list of items seized by police included evidence of sexual activity. But that probably means that, you could explain that because that was her ex-boyfriend or whatever. Stephen Sanborn, who told police he had a brief sexual relationship with Ouellette 2 or 3 years ago, was quoted by investigators as saying he went to school the next morning and heard rumors about a dead girl who might be Ouellette. Daniel Sanborn told police he last saw Ouellette early on the morning of February 10th after she asked to spend the night at his home because she had quarreled with her parents and they had thrown her out. Okay, well, maybe, let me hear what this guy has to say here. Sanborn told police he went to school that morning, but in the face of contradictory information, recanted that statement. Now he's lying. And said he slept late and spent the afternoon with friends in Old Orchard Beach, the document said. Stephen McLaughlin, spokesman for the State Public Safety Department, said no one has been charged, and he declined to comment on whether investigators were close to making an arrest. Jeez. This just sounds like one of those shit show deals here. I mean, there's blood in the house. And there was... So I guess, he's saying that he was at a house and maybe somebody came in and got her, right? That's what it sounds like. So now we're a year later. It will be a year Thursday since Ashley Ouellette was found slain in Scarborough, but police say they remain confident that the Saco teenager's killer will be brought to justice. Well, it's, that was 20 years ago. We feel it is very... This sounds a lot like that other case that we've been talking about, where the Pizza Hut killing. Yeah, it's just really obvious stuff. We feel it is a very solvable case, said Pete Police Sergeant Matthew Stewart. We have made progress in the last year. We're still receiving information on a regular basis from people in the community. On February 10th, 1999, Ouellette, 15, was found strangled and lying face down in the middle of the Pine Point Road. The Thornton Academy sophomore was last seen alive at a mobile home in a rural section of Saco. And that's about the only, I bet that's it right there. Alright. That's only 20 years ago. It's on that little stretch of road from here to there. Let me get a different a fall month. Yeah, it was 1999, but we're covering, we don't want people to fill in information or anything like that. Okay. So there's a house, 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 and one mobile home. I bet you that's it right there. I bet you anything, but that's the what does Young Gun have to do with anything? Let's see. As they await answers about who killed their daughter, Lees and Robert Ouellette appeared last week on the Montel Williams television talk show with Sylvia Brown, a psychic. Ah, Jesus. Are you kidding me? Brown said Ouellette's killing will be solved within a year. Well, another psychic wrong, everybody. Boy, what a miracle! They're never wrong. The pressure's still on, said Robert Ouellette, after information provided by Brown boosted his confidence in the murder investigation. They're not letting up. I am not going to give up. Investigators searched the home of Earl and Muriel Sanborn, where Ashley Ouellette, an ex-girlfriend of their son Stephen, spent her last night. Police also took blood, hair, and other samples from Daniel Sanborn, Stephen's brother. State police investigators have questioned dozens of people, including those who saw Ouellette the night before her death. Yeah. We still are unable to place Ashley Ouellette alive outside the Sanborn residence. Daniel Sanborn told police he last saw Ouellette when he went upstairs to sleep on a living room couch. He said he woke up the next morning, went to school, and returned home at lunchtime. But when police confronted Sanborn with records showing he was absent from school, he changed his story, saying he slept late and spent the afternoon with friends in Old Orchard Beach. Well, the fact that he lied right there is a huge red flag, right? The Ouellettes are convinced that the answers to what happened that night are out there. They believe young people in the community know what happened and are afraid to come forward. I wonder if anybody right now, so they'd be about 39, 40 years old at this point. The parents had started going to counseling to cope with it. Year goes by and it doesn't ease the pain. Yeah, well, it never does, actually. So. Here, I'll be back in a second. What do you mean, why do I think it was a mobile home? Jesus. God. Alright, here we go. Because it said it. It was in the article. Alright, here we go. Someone killed our daughter. This is a article from 2001, so 2 years after it. No, it didn't. It's okay, Meredith. Go do something else. All right, thanks. Saco. It was before dawn when the body of a blonde 15-year-old girl was found face down on the center line of Pine Point Road, just past the edge of town. By midday, Robert and Lise Ouellette had identified the girl as their daughter, Ashley, and late that night, when a police officer visited the house where she was last seen alive, he reported looked like blood droplets on the kitchen floor. Yeah, I heard that part, but they mentioned, I read that part, Meredith, but it also mentioned a mobile home. Did you miss that part? I guess we'll have to go back through all the articles and try to find that one part. Where was it? Maybe it was in this one, the longer one. I can't remember now. Yeah, I'm just pausing the whole show for Meredith there so we can figure out where the mobile home thing was. It was such a huge, important part, so I'm going to go through this, spend the next 20 minutes trying to find the this one part. So wait for an answer. This is still on. Investigator searched the home earlier. Other samples. Questioned dozens of people, including those who still unable to. Fronted sunburn. Yeah. I don't know where I read it, but I read it out loud. Well, I don't care what you know where the upstairs part. Hey, Meredith, go to a different channel. Just the way you talk and everything, you're just not interested, all right? We'll find it out, though. We'll figure it out. Good luck, all right? I don't even know what article it was in. But whenever it was, I read it and then saw it there, okay? So that's what made me look at that. I unless my brain thought I said, I'm not going to jail for that. Unless my brain, okay, I will. I'll go to jail. There you go. Ashley, let me type this in again. Hold on, I'm gonna go do a search. Ah, shit. I always love when the show gets derailed. Unreal. All right. God, Jesus. Oh, man. You freaked me out, man. You freaked me out. Oh, there's Mag again. Oh. God.
Bail money for Gray. Smiling face with hearts. Kissing face.
Thank you. Okay. Here we go. On February 10th, 1999, Ouellette, 15, was found strangled and lying face down in the middle of the Pine Point Road. The Thornton Academy sophomore was last seen alive at a mobile home in a rural section of Saco. Where did I come up with that?
Chewbacca? I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Bail because you don't deserve jail on this one.
Yeah, did I? I'm reading it right here. Does everybody see what I'm looking at here? See that? Was last seen alive at a mobile home in a rural section of Saco. Boom! Bada bing! All right, trolls. Anyways, thank you very much, Amber Maiden and Mag. Definitely got me out of jail there. Are you guys not? Can you read? Are you guys all on rewind right now? Oh, you can't see it. Oh, okay, hold on. Right here, look. It's right here. Just so you know that I'm not making it up, everybody. Right here. On February 10th, 1999, Ouellette, 15, was found strangled and lying face down in the middle of the Pine Point Road. The Thornton Academy sophomore was last seen alive at a mobile home in a rural section of Saco, and we actually know the name of that road, right? Thank you, Rita Schaefer. Okay, now we'll let the troll back in. Okay. All right, awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. I think that's called what do you call that? Gaslighting, almost. You know, like I actually literally read it out loud and went straight to the road and found the mobile home sitting there, and it's the only one that was there. I don't know if it has an upstairs or not, but it's the only mobile home that I could find. So that's the point that I cared about. It's a mobile home, you know. So let's go to the where's this one? I was on this article right here. So whether or not it was the right mobile home or not, I got the right street. It was a mobile home, and that's all I can do. You know, hell, maybe it's a new mobile home. It was 20 years ago. The other houses look like they've been there. They're homes. We see you in jail? Well, I was in jail. I'm not in jail anymore. See, you gotta refresh this account. You know, the only thing that was an argument that I didn't say mobile home. Why'd you say mobile home? Why do you think it's a mobile home, Gray? Well, because the article actually said mobile home. All right, Rodeo Clown? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's what Zozo said at the end of her nursery rhyme. Thank you. Thank you. That was pretty funny. That's actually the best part of it, is at the end. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. She was last seen alive. He reported what looked like blood droplets on the kitchen floor. That was 2 years ago. Today, police have yet to charge anyone in Ashley's death. The apparent blood drops turned out to be not of human origin. Ah, well, that changes everything, doesn't it? But let me ask you this. How many times do you have a house where you have blood droplets from dogs just kind of around your house, and you're like, yeah, I'll just leave it there until tomorrow? Okay. That was 2 years ago. Today, police have yet to charge anyone in Ashley's death. The apparent blood drops turned out to be not of human origin, police say, and despite a $20,000 reward, no witnesses have come forward. Tired of waiting and hoping for answers, Robert... Well, here's the thing. If there was blood droplets, when they found her, they would know, well, wait, she was strangled to death. So there's no cutting or anything, so we don't even know what that blood's about. Although they did say there was, I think they said I can't remember if it was the same story about blood coming out the nose a little bit or something. That might have been an earlier one. Tired of waiting and hoping for answers, Robert Ouellette said he is doing the one thing he can, suing Earl and Muriel Sanborn, the couple who owned the trailer where Ashley spent her last night alive. See, now it's a trailer, mobile home, you know. The Ouellettes say they are suing not for money, but to make the Sanborns talk. That's actually a tactic a lot of people use. We know there is someone out there who knows something, and they are not saying anything, Robert Ouellette said. We want an arrest and a conviction. Someone killed our daughter. Ashley's death is the first unsolved homicide in the recent history of Saco, a town of 15,000, known mostly for its white sandy beaches and amusement parks. It is kind of a freaky driving by the spot where they found her body, said Corey Flannery, 24, who worked at a seafood restaurant around the bend from where Ashley was found. Let's see. So she's found right there, and around the bend. Dustin School Restaurant, the Dairy Corner, Rock and Roll Diner. I don't know if they're all the same, but it kind of seems like around the bend. I don't think that, well, Ken's Place. Ah, there's a seafood restaurant right there. So around the bend. Well, hell, I guess she could have been found more over in this area. Anyways. Her mother describes Ashley Ouellette as a social girl who loves shimmering silver jewelry and was looking forward to getting her driver's license. That's her right there. And that one. She had gotten into some trouble in the previous 2 years, hanging out with older youths and not showing up for school. So, this is probably going to have more detail. She even gotten in a couple of tattoos, but her teacher said she was doing better. So on February 9th, 1999, Lees and Robert Ouellette said yes when Ashley asked to spend the night with her friend Aaliyah Page, who lived down the street. Page's parents weren't home, and according to a police affidavit, several other teenagers came over, including Daniel Sanborn, then 16, whose older brother, Stephen, had had a sexual relation with Ashley, according to information he gave police. Page told police that Ashley said she wanted to go see the older Sanborn boy. When I get a buzz on, I get a crush on Steve, Page recalled her saying. What happened after that is a patchwork of information laid out in the affidavit of State Police Detective Sergeant Matthew Stewart. After getting a ride to the Sanborns' house, Ashley showed up on their back doorstep at about 12:25 a.m., Muriel Sanborn said. She said Ashley told her she had been thrown out of her house, so she handed the girls some bedding, and Ashley went to sleep on a couch in the basement. You kind of wonder if she wanted to go over there. She made up this story about being thrown out of her house to try to get to stay there, hoping it might lead to something if it's true about her drinking and having a buzz and then wanting to get back together with the older Sanborn. 15 minutes later, Muriel Sanborn told police she heard someone in the kitchen and came out to investigate. She found Daniel getting a soda from a fridge, the affidavit says. Daniel said the drink was for Ashley and returned to the basement. Oh, so he was seeing her that night then, I guess. Less than 4 hours later, just before 4 a.m., a passing motorist found Ashley's body carefully laid in the road just over the town border in Scarborough, about a mile from the center of Saco. So where is the county? Okay, well there's the border, so over there. About a mile from the center of Saco and a 6-minute drive from Sanborn's house. There was blood in the nostrils, so that was her, brown grass in her hair, and gravel embedded in her clothing. According to the affidavit, police found similar brown grass and gravel in the Sanborn's blue 1991 Eagle Summit. They searched the Sanborn house and took scrapings from Ashley's fingernails. After preliminary examination, the chief medical examiner said Ashley died of manual strangulation. A search warrant signed 1 day after her death focused on the Sanborn's house, car, and younger son Daniel. When questioned by police, Daniel said that the last time he saw Ashley was shortly after he brought her a soda. So that all that stuff kind of matches, but that could have been something that they... I don't know why they would have said that. So that sounds legit because that actually places him with her, and that's not really something you could have just said, oh no, I went to bed and she was downstairs. I don't know what happened. He said she complained the basement was too hot and carried her bedding to the couch upstairs. Daniel also told police he woke up the next day, found Ashley gone, and then went to school. Yeah. But when repeatedly confronted by contradictory information from school officials, Daniel changed his story. So anytime you get lies on a story like that, you get really suspicious. Because there's no, he probably skipped school all the time. That really didn't mean a damn thing. But he knew that would look bad, so he didn't say it. And then he got confronted. Well, I was over here then with somebody else. But he admitted he stayed home from school and skipped his afternoon job at a Pizza Hut. Wow, another freaking Pizza Hut, everybody. He told police he slept in and spent the afternoon hanging out with friends at Old Orchard Beach. Here, let me check something out. Look, Pizza Huts never change, okay? You get a Pizza Hut, it stays there forever. Most of the time. Anyways, look how many Pizza Huts are in Saco. Apparently they like pizza there. I mean, I've never seen... Usually you get a town, there's like one Pizza Hut there. This has like 9. That's insane. Let's see. There were 2 other teenage boys in the house. Well, that's interesting. He told police he slept in and spent the afternoon hanging out with friends at Old Orchard Beach. There were 2 other teenage boys in the house. Stephen, then 18, told police that when he woke up and saw Daniel's door closed, he assumed Ashley was sleeping in there with him. He said he left for school when he heard rumors that a girl with tattoos had been found dead and that it might be Ashley. A 3rd teenage boy, 18-year-old Chris Coate, lived in the Sanborns' house and was there that night, according to the affidavit. He said Ashley phoned for Stephen earlier in the evening before coming over, but he went to bed before she arrived. During the course of the night, Coate told police he hadn't heard any odd noises. Well, maybe he was the one that would have caused the odd noises. But, hands around a neck make somebody pretty quiet. Police say new leads come in every week, but they lack evidence to file charges. It's probably, oh, I know who did it. And they know who did it, but they can't prove it. So on February 5th, the Ouellettes filed a civil suit on behalf of Ashley Ouellette's estate, claiming the Sanborns were negligent. They should have called Ashley's parents when she showed up at 12:30 a.m., they said. And Muriel Sanborn shouldn't have told Ashley to sleep near the boy's bedroom. We think it was the responsibility of the parents when they had our 15-year-old daughter in their house to protect her. I mean, that is pretty, that is kind of the responsibility of adults, but a lot of times adults are just like children and really don't give a shit. Okay. So anyways, they sued, and then it turns out that the judge dismisses parents' wrongful death suit. But that article had a lot of, more detailed information. A York County judge has dismissed the wrongful death lawsuit brought by the parents of murdered Saco teen Ashley Ouellette. Would not comment. Ashley, 15, spent the last night of her life at the Sanborn home. So, anyways, it was dropped, and then we've got, this is an article from just February this year. I looked this case up, and then the very last thing I usually do is look to see if it's on Google, and there was a story from February, just 2 months ago, which is pretty crazy, right? So hold on a second.
Police say she was strangled. Police have interviewed hundreds of people, but still need a little more information to make an arrest. Chris Costa spoke with state police and Ashley's friends and family. And Chris, where does this case stand right now?
Well, Amanda and Shannon, police say they've gotten tips on this case within just the past 2 months, a handful of which they've been able to act on. What they need to crack this case is for someone who has intimate details of the case to come forward.
She was a kid. She was a good kid with a great heart.
Even the kindest of teenagers can be a little defiant. 15-year-old Ashley Ouellette was no different.
There was a time she got stranded in Massachusetts, which she wasn't supposed to be there.
Her uncle, Dennis LeHoulier, took care of her even when she made a
said
mistake.
It right.
She used to call me all the time for rides.
That was close.
Except for that night, which kind of bugs me, and has for 22 years.
That night, February 9th, 1999, Ashley had gone to the home of her friend, Aaliyah Page, for a party and sleepover.
So now you got a different picture, so I have the wrong mobile home, but it was a mobile home.
Other friends, two brothers, Stephen and Daniel Sanborn, fellow classmates at Thornton Academy.
Hey, hold on. Let's see. Let's see if we're close. All right, hold on. Here we go. Is it possible? Did he get the right mobile home even? Right there. It's the only one that looked like a mobile home at the time. Total shot in the dark. Might not be the right one, but it's definitely not a two-story one. Doesn't look like it has the same front on it. But look, that doesn't look like a two-story mobile home, does it? Right there. Or well, when they say, what did they call it in the other article? I don't know. Maybe they're talking about this thing. I don't know. I doubt it.
Fellow classmates at Thornton Academy. At the time, police said Daniel was the last person to see Ashley alive. During the initial investigation, police searched the Sanborn family's home and one of their cars, but police have not publicly named any suspects.
In this particular case, we have a great deal of persons of interest, a few suspects that are probably more of a higher priority for us.
Police have focused on a window of time between 12:30 a.m. when Ashley arrived at the Sanborn home in Saco and 4 a.m. when a driver found her in the middle of Pine Point Road in Scarborough.
That's a 3.5-hour time span. Those are the two locations we are continuing to concentrate on and the time span that we're working on.
But how she got to Scarborough, when she was killed, and why all remain a mystery. Police have not publicly named any suspects.
In this particular case, we have a great deal of persons of interest, a few suspects that are probably
right,
more
but that's
of a higher
that's
priority
definitely
for us.
a manufactured
Police
type
focused on a window
home, right?
of time
There's no doubt about it.
12:30 a.m. when Ashley arrived at the Sanborn home in Saco, and 4 a.m. when a driver found her in the middle of Pine Point Road in Scarborough.
That's a 3.5-hour time span. Those are the two locations we are continuing to concentrate on and the time span that we're working on.
But how she got to Scarborough, when she was killed, and why all remain a mystery.
At the police station.
Back in 1999, Ashley's father tried to explain how the family was coping.
It's just been a nightmare, and there's no way to describe it.
2 years after her murder, Ashley's father died of a heart attack, with no answers, only theories. But even then, he was...
Well, yeah, well, look at everybody. Once you see it, and they say upstairs, it's obvious that there's a basement. It's not like rocket science, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? There's a one-level manufactured home, and if there isn't upstairs, then that means there's a basement, right? Because there isn't a second floor on it when you look at it.
Asking the public to share what they knew about that evening.
I appeal to everybody, if it's children, if you know anything, please come forward.
22 years later, the same plea, but with new urgency from the police and Ashley's family.
And there's people out there that know what happened and say nothing. They probably have kids of their own right now. What if this happens to one of your kids? You gonna want somebody to say something? Wait 22 years and tell me how you feel.
There is a $20,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest in this case. And coming up, we're going to tell you about the tips that state police are investigating and some new tools they're using to help, hopefully, make an arrest.
God, oh my God, oh my God, I live 3,000 miles away from that road. What a small world.
Police say she was strangled.
Who has intimate details of the case.
The kindest of...
That's what she was
Here.
For that
Night, February 9th,
and has for 22 years.
That night, February 9th, 1999, Ashley had gone to the home of her friend, Aaliyah Page, for a party and sleepover.
So that's where the party was.
At some point, she left the home to go visit other friends, two brothers.
And apparently they live on that road that I'm on, this road right here. You know, the thing about those homes, they'll take those suckers down. If somebody buys that property, they'll just tear it down in 2 seconds and build an actual house there. We actually had one across the street. Now it's like a mansion over there. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do one trip down this road from the entire section. This is where it starts, right here. And we'll just go all the way down and see if we can just find it. And if it's not there, it probably was torn down. Because we're talking about something, and there would be an incentive to tear it down too, right? Like, hey, hurry up, everybody! Do you want to buy this thing? Hey, it's a great lot. You can, quickly rip that sucker down and destroy anything that might have ever been in there. Yes, we know that they don't all have Man, is this like a clown night in here? Hey everybody, not all mobile homes have basements, everybody. Everybody write that down. Make sure that you got that in your minds. I bet you most don't have basements. Don't worry about what the name of the road is. We're just looking at making one attempt here. Nothing there. Nothing there. Oh, come on, Ziva. Everybody knows. Actually, let me do something here. What's this guy's name? Hold on. Yes, I'm still everybody. Talks amongst yourselves. Talk among yourself. Ah! Oh, that's good. Okay, so mother described. I'm gonna try something else. Lisa and Robert Ouellette said yesterday Paige's parents weren't home. Okay, Paige told police that Ashley said she wanted to go. Okay. Okay, Muriel Sanborn. Hold on. I think I'm gonna have an answer here in just a second. Alright, here we go, here we go. Yeah, that's good. This looks good. Looking good. And Mast Hill Road, does that sound right? Okay, well here's one spot. No, that one's not gonna go. Ah, crap! They didn't have. They have this like. They didn't have that address in there. Shoot. Grace Lane. Yeah, I guess it's not there anymore. Alright, or where was I? I gotta go back down to the street view now. I just typed in the mother, Sanborn's mother, and wasn't in there. Let me try one of these other ones. Okay, I'll try this one really quick. Because this isn't even that long ago. This should be in here. And they also have the same Saco address as the mom. Trying one more here. I'm just looking up addresses for individuals. I think I'm looking at the father now. Yep, they all have the same address. And none of them are on here. No. Wow, no, that doesn't exist. Alright, so that's what it looks like. Now we're going to have to go do the manual attempt. Mast Hill Road.
Police say she was strangled. Police have interviewed hundreds of people, but still need a little more information.
Yeah? What would he say? What would he say? How do they get into the basement, please? What do you mean, how do they get into the basement? I don't know, they must have a basement that they built and then put the mobile home on it. Probably a certain kind of mobile home. I don't know. God, is it really that important? all we need to know is that that's where he was. It's not really like germane to the whole story or anything. It's just go with what they said, and you know, unless we had crime scene photos, it doesn't really matter. We just upstairs, downstairs. All we know is this: is she went missing from the house. Apparently, she was downstairs. He got her a Coke or, you know, something to drink. Went back downstairs. Then she goes, "Oh, it's too hot down here," or something, or cold, or whatever the hell it was. And then moved her upstairs to a couch. And, you know, that's it. You're what? Wait, what does that say in there? Oh my God. That's it. That was I was just trying to find Grace Lane. You can see it right up here, right? But it's not listed because it's a private road. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh man, that is crazy. I actually looked at that lane from the air wondering about it. So now I think we can find it right here. That's one of these, like somewhere right in here. That's hilarious. All right, let's get one last look at that. Yeah, that's so weird. It wouldn't let me. I think it's one of these. It's number 4 on that lane. I think that might be it right there. Actually, hold on. Let me get that up again.
Police say
that's it. Bada bing! Well, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Look at that's it. Look at that right there. You got the dark, window, roof like that, boom, the deck, and then it goes off to the side right there. And then probably right underneath there would be where the mobile home might, you know, something like that might be. All right, so there we go. Awesome. For Grace Lane. Just my random first pin was almost right. This is not right. All right. It's always fun, even if it's something kind of little, just to find the actual house, right? Takes a while to sometimes to find them, but that's definitely it. I wonder if it's a private road. You know what's weird is I wonder if right off, I think we were just looking at that. That means you can almost see it from right here because of the way that it's right there. Look at what. I think that's probably it right there, just at a different angle. Right back there. Yeah, because that's what you would see. See that? Just like that. All right, there we go. All right. A little win right at the end there. A win at the end. So I did get the address, but I couldn't find it because it was a private road. That still seems weird that wouldn't be on Google Earth. Thank you, Claudia Neubauer. Anyways, those are the cases for tonight's show. Yes, it was a mobile home. Kind of a weird show tonight, but we got through them all. Right? We got through them all. 3 cold cases. Awesome. We got somebody in here that was triggered earlier, and even though they accused me of being triggered, I was just saying what I thought. I think it sucks when you see a missing persons case, their first thought is to talk about how they wouldn't have allowed this or that. Okay? That's not me being triggered. It's just a real thing that, it's the reaction that's a trigger. Thank you, Claudia Neubauer. I don't see a question. Oh. That's not that far. It's the house of the body is like 5 miles, 6 miles maybe driving. It's somewhere on this road here. I don't know exactly where, because this guy said around the bend, so it could have been, in this area. I just have it over here, so maybe it's 5 to 7 miles. Put it that way. All right. Look at. Basements, and none of these murders have been solved. Yeah, there you go. None of these are solved. This last one feels like it should be solved, right? Somebody's literally sleeping at somebody's house and they're dead the next day. What, somebody abducted her out from underneath about 97 people that were there that night? I don't know. It seems like there was like 3 brothers and all kinds of people there. I mean, hell, they might have looked at some other people there, family members. It's a private street. It almost seems like it was kind of... Did they all live there? Or? Yeah, this one should be solved. Kind of seems solved, right? We've got a few of those going on at this point. Especially, remember the girl, I can't remember the case, but she was having an affair. She was single, but she was having an affair with a married man. And that man, apparently she wanted to be with him, but he owed her a lot of money. He was just using her for the money. And then they find the whole plan that night to go on a trip, being picked up at an auto plant, was that she was going to get in the back of his pickup truck, but she had to hide because he had to give somebody else a ride home, so she had to sort of hide under a blanket and then drive all kinds of miles. And when they get his truck, they actually find her cat hairs underneath that tarp, and then she comes up missing, never to be found. I mean, give me a break. That guy 100% did it. I talked to the person running the show there, and he said that it's kind of like this double-edged sword. Do we go for a trial now, risking double jeopardy, or do we wait? So there you go. Yeah, we just covered that one a couple weeks back, maybe a month ago. Huh? Bazinga. Bada boom! I'm just trying to load up a page here really quick. All right. so on this show, thank you, starting off from Daro, Sarah Beth Colagras, Alyssa Tallman, Michael Callahan, Chatty O, Michael Callahan again, Sherlock Hemlock, Chad Bobinger, Jessica Schubach, The Hawk, Lee D, Rita Schaefer. Let me rock you, Rita Schaefer. Yeah, remember that was a rap that sounded like that one? Linda Howell, Sarita, Shogun Love, CC Mag, Amber Maiden, Rita Schaefer, and Claudia Neubauer. You have to say that the same every single time. Oh, and then Mag had a cat eye donation, bailing me out of jail. And Amber Maiden got me out of jail, too. Okay, and then also, PayPal, Angie, said thanks for all you do. That was very cool. Oh, okay. Hold on, we've got... oops. There's also another one. Daniel, talked to you today. Haven't donated in a while, so here's 10 bones. Thanks, Greg. Well, thank you. Yeah. All right. So anyways, Colleen Fitzpatrick's going to come on tomorrow. We're going to go over the Somerton Man. It's a really crazy story of a guy, you know, that sort of was found on a beach, I guess next to some stairs or something, in Australia. Don't even know exactly where at this point, but I'm going to read all up about it tomorrow so that when we do the show, we'll all know what we're talking about. All right, so read up on Summer. It's Somerton. Somerton Man. Go look it up on Wikipedia. All right. Awesome. Yeah, that's what I said. This account, I just said it. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys coming on here tonight. Crazy day out there. What are you guys talking about? Who rolled? What happened? Now I have to go up and read. Oh boy, it's getting really complicated. What case did somebody steal everybody's money from? Anybody know? Doesn't seem related. What case was that somebody stole everybody's money from? Oh, the other case. Yeah, the one that in the trunk, at the back of the truck with the tarp. Yeah, it was like $50,000. She'd loaned him, and he never paid any of it back. So he probably killed her so he wouldn't have to pay it. And because he didn't want to see her anymore, but he didn't want to have to pay her back. Yeah, no problem, Dan. I just had to do it in a, do the press conference in a members-only show so that, it's just, I felt so weird with how that guy reacted the other day. So, I guess he's just, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. So, all right, everybody, thank you very much. And, make sure that you keep wearing your masks, maintain your social distancing, wash your hands all the time. Before you eat anything, make sure you wash your hands. And then, let's all get that vaccine. All right. For those of you who aren't freaking out, we kind of need to do it because we're sort of struggling to get to that herd immunity. It's starting to drop down the number of people taking it, and it's, I don't know, man. I want to get this virus gone. I don't want it to be lingering around. If we don't do that, it's going to keep coming back, keep mutating over and over again, and might become a worse one. There's a chance it could be a less deadly virus too, but got to get it done. Who was a spy? Oh, the Somerton man. Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody. That's it. I'm tired. A lot of show today, but thank you guys for hanging in there, watching all the shows, laughing at my jokes, putting up with me being an ass sometimes. Hey, it's all the same. All right. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 2, and a 3, and a 4. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, thug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get you on a stretcher if you try and play me like a little projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gregor's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, free connector, and I'm always gonna be a protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
Gosh, Gray. Thanks, Gray. That was an interesting show. There was a couple trolls in there, though.
Well, I get trolls every single night. It's just kind of part of doing YouTube.
Oh, okay. Well, good job, Gray.
Well, thanks, Mary Lou. That's so nice of you.
Well, I thought it was really mean, Gray.
Gosh, John boy, you used to like Gray.
Well, not anymore.
How come?
Well, because he always supports you.
Gee.
it going, everybody? All right. Excellent. Everybody, thank you very much. And don't forget to be safe out there. And who gives a damn if trailers have basements? Thought of the night. All right, bye-bye.